Thank you, Stu, for the fine words right there. I didn't kick anything loose here. Okay, we all set? Gosh, we got a nice group. It's a small group, but a good group. Just to sort of put maybe categories, of which I guess CALLERLAB is notorious for putting things in categories. Looking at traditional dance, I have four sort of categories here that, and you can add many more to this. And this would be just sort of a skeleton or outline of kind of what we're looking at in traditional dancing. First of all, we have traditional figures, or basics, or forms. That's number one. Number two, we have traditional music. Now we'll go into depth on those. Let's get the four categories here. Number three would be traditional style calling and patter. Number four would be traditional style dancing. Okay, let's go back to one, which is traditional figures, basics, and forms. We think of, in figures and forms, we think of squares, of course. We think of lines, as in contra dancing. We think of circles, regular circles, open circles, closed circles, Spanish circles. And we think of random dancing or freestyle dancing in the traditional form. Okay, and there's probably more we can add to this. I'd like to add more to this. That's number one. Okay. Under number two, we have music. We have old-time string music or fiddle music, live and recorded, of course. We have some wind instrumentations. We have ethnic-style music, which would be in that traditional vein. Moving on to number three, which is traditional-style calling. We have prompted calls, traditional rhymes and patterns, or patter, rather, I should say, and also singing type call. Okay, moving on to number four, traditional style dancing. We're getting into footwork or body motions or whatever. We have two-step, clogging, skipping, hopping, marching, waltzing, polka, running, gliding, and walking. Now, you can probably think of some more in that area of footwork or body work or whatever. I'd like maybe through Dick and through our moderator here to maybe show some of the styles of music, some of the styles of body motion, of footwork, and so forth. Maybe we'll get into that as time goes on and as time will allow right here. But let's kind of think of those categories. And are there questions at this point, or any comments or thoughts in that area? I'm sure it's a rough skeleton here for you. Most of the things that we're talking about relate to our modern day dancing. We have a lot of people who are very traditional in their dancing, who feel that it's kind of like bluegrass music and modern music or rock or country or whatever. If you're familiar with bluegrass music at all, a pure traditional bluegrass musician or a lover of bluegrass music will use nothing but acoustical instruments, no electronic instruments, and they're a little opposed to mics and microphones in some cases. And I think we have this, we're looking at the same thing in traditional dancing. We know of people and groups that do nothing but traditional type dancing, traditional type music, and they're very much opposed to modern square dancing or modern contra dancing or whatever. So we have those two groups, maybe a third group along the way. There's some ethnic groups that do traditional type dancing. Not really, I don't think we can say traditional dancing is limited just to squares, just to lines. there's a whole area of traditional dancing, from Scottish dancing to Romanian dancing to Russian dancing to whatever, which would be under that traditional framework. Questions or comments at this point? Yes.
Jerry, wouldn't you include all folk dancing in your traditional?
Yes. Yeah, if we're thinking traditional dancing, we're thinking folk dancing, ethnic dancing, the whole ball of wax. I'm not sure in this, as far as CALLERLAB is concerned, I'm not sure what area we're really interested in. I think we want to include all forms of traditional dancing. I don't think we can exclude any group of traditional dancing. One time there was opposition to clogging. They felt that that didn't have a place in American square dancing. And it really does. If you look at it today, it's being done, it's there, and I think we have to accept it and say that's part of our dance picture on an overall basis. I've had enough time up here.
Dick, you want some opening comments?
Thank you.
He said all the things I was going to say.
No, thanks a lot.
You really did.
Thanks a lot.
Do you have a chair? Is it permissible to take this off of here? Oh, that feels good. No, the point I think that Jerry and I were discussing it a little bit this morning, the point that I would like to make in this particular session is that I use a lot of traditional background material, and I call it background material. I was lucky to be exposed with live music when I started dancing, and this was just, I guess, a great feeling to be initiated with phrase dancing. If someone were to ask me where I do the bulk of my calling, it's between traditional and modern. And I don't think the dancers really know the difference. I can do a traditional figure and put a modern tune to it, and they think it's the latest thing out. Gee, that's great. Where do you get that? I don't dare tell them it's 400 years old. You see, I think if they enjoy it, that's enough for me. I recently did, within the last 2 years, I did a caller session where the traditional callers hired me to come in on a succession of about 6 Sundays, I think, and 1 Monday. And this was in the Boston area. And one of the callers has my utmost respect. He's a purist. If something was done when he was dancing, he doesn't change one word and he doesn't change the music. The only comment I had to make is that some of his records are going through the other side. And he's getting a combination of both tunes, the one that's on the reverse side and the one that's on the original side. And believe it, he's still using 78s. But nevertheless, he does beautiful dances. Absolutely gorgeous dances. I get a lot of ideas from him. But anyway, he was instrumental in getting me to come up to Boston and run a series. And I said, well, what specifically do you want me to run it on? He said, phrasing. In the transition of traditional to modern. I said, fine, I'll give it a shot, you know. And there was one comment that I made during those 6 weeks, probably only one of any intelligence at all. But anyway, I made the comment that we look at traditional as being old. We have a connotation to old, something in the past. When people say, do you have any traditional records? I presume they're asking me if I have any old records. You know, and that's unfortunately what it's tied in with. But I made a point there that everything was brand new at one time. And if it was brand new at one time and it survived, it was good. There were many, many, many things that were brand new at one time that never survived. The ones that did survive have something in them, either the music, the way it danced, the way it felt, but it had something to where it survived the test of time. I think that we need to look at our modern picture and you know, who knows 20 years from now what is really going to be what's going to survive. Well, there's one thing I think that we can count on, and that is some of the parts of the traditional movement. And I think also, as Jerry, that I think one demonstration is worth 1,000 words. I think if we get out and look at some of these things, or if you have any questions, if I can't answer them, I know that Jerry can or Stu can. I think. Anyway, so that's what the point that I wanted to bring out is that you can take modern music and put a traditional figure to it, and you can take a traditional figure and put modern music to it. The music is constant. That's the point I'm trying to make. The music is constant between the two. Music doesn't change. It may sound a little different, but there's still the same basic phrasing, the same number of beats to the song, or whatever. Sometimes you can, in traditional dancing, they have dances that go one time through plus halfway through the next time. So you're working with part A repeating, part B repeating, and then you only go part A twice again, and that's the end of the dance, and it starts up a second time through on the B part. I know this is kind of technical, but if you have any questions on it, why, ask Jerry. Thank you.
Thank you, Dick, for your opening comments. This session is being taped, folks, and we ask if you have a question, if you'll stand up to the mic and talk directly into the mic so it can be recorded on tape, so that your answer also can be recorded on tape. So if any of you have any questions, please go to the mic so everybody, or we will repeat the question. There is a playback. Yeah. Okay. Do you have any other questions that you'd like to ask before we continue with this? We're going to go into some demonstrations on the... Let me say one thing before we go into the demonstration type thing. We don't want you to get the idea that we're preaching traditional dance as the only form of dance. Hey, gang, this is a part of what we're doing. I'm not a traditional square dance caller all the time, because I have 5 regular clubs that I call for. It's mainstream and plus 1 and plus 2. I do this because I like it. That's why I like to participate in this type of thing, because I enjoy the traditional. Jerry is a regular square dance caller, goes out and calls plus 1, plus 2. I don't know whether you go advanced or not, but so does Dick Ledger. So we're not... You're retarded. Oh,
I don't call plus.
You don't call plus. Okay.
Maybe once.
But we're involved in the square dance program, not totally traditional as we want you to understand. You know, we're not totally traditional. We believe in it, but we also participate in the other programs too. Are there any questions before we get into some demonstrations? Okay. Dick, you had something you wanted to show first on some... Yeah, okay. He's going to show you some traditional figures into the modern type of musics and this type of thing, how it can be used, traditional figures and so on.
Let's make a square. Can you give me a little bit more on this one, or are they both the same? There are 2 mics there? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Good. Okay, a little better. Okay, can we get a square, preferably 4 of each kind?
Marilyn?
Okay, just to point out differences in little figures and quadrilles and whatnot, we're going to just put on this record, if you can give me a music balance a little later. That mic seems to be a little bit better for some reason or other. Maybe I'll use that one, okay, then I can get along with them. This is a little quadrille I stole from Jerry Helt. A little quadrille I stole from Jerry Helt. He doesn't remember it, thank goodness. But he wrote this, the basic part of it, and I've used it for drills. But what it basically starts off as being, you're all going to circle exactly half. Don't do it. Then the heads are going to right and left through. You're all going to circle exactly half, sides are right and left through, so forth. Just listen for your calls and be honest. Well said. Can you give me a little music? We'll have a little music check on this. The heads are right here. Can you hear that all right? Okay. All right, let's start it from the beginning, okay? Could we start that from the beginning? And before you do, Jerry, before you put the needle down, just lift it up for a second while I explain something. Okay. Now, some of these records are fantastic music, but no intro. You know, the guy goes, and a caller, if he's going to call to it, he would have to say, you can't talk that fast. So I'll say, when you hear the music, circle left, and then we'll be back on phrase, okay? All right, let's try that. Get your hands joined and get ready to go. Circle. Heads, right or left, dig. All, circle. Always before the phrase. Sides, right or left, dig. They're using that number one beat to dance on. 4 ladies chain across. And the heads promenade outside, halfway. They're using that number one beat to dance on. 4 ladies chain across. Sides, right or left, dig. And stop right there. Boom. Okay, we've used up 64 counts of music. All right. Now, in this particular style of dancing, I have this. That was the one with you realizing that you sent me at one time. Yeah. But in taking a part of another traditional figure, we used to have a little thing in traditional where we did a little balance to the right, balance to the left, and then it went. Okay. And can you do that? Okay? And you're doing little chassé steps, okay? Little chassé steps to the right. And when you do that, you'll be completely out of your square. You won't even recognize it. But the way we get back is you balance left, balance right, and you go back to your square. I know this rug isn't the best thing to slide on, but try it. Do your best. All right? Now, well, not yet. Not yet. We can do it with either side. But, all right, let's just try that balance, okay? To the right. Go. To the right. To the left. Let's do it. Balance left, right, and You got the idea. But don't try to stay in a circle. You're trying to do that in a circle. No, go directly up. Okay, so we're going to add that. The rest of it is all Alaman left. Now, in traditional dancing, some of our hand turns, and I like to use the hand turn up, okay? Don't make it wishy-washy. Okay, get a good firm grip. Left hand turn your corner, right hand turn your partner. Keep it in close. Men star left, 3/4, pick up your corner. And that's the whole dance. Let's try it. Same music for now, yeah. Get your hands joined, get ready to circle. It doesn't start off with that other part. Go. Heads, right or left, two. Now we're back on phrase again. All joined hands, circle left. If you're dancing right, your feet will never stop moving. Sides, right or left, two. Nobody's in a rush, you see. 4 ladies chain. Heads promenade outside, halfway. 4 ladies chain across. Beautiful. Sides, do the right or left bit. Now here's that part where we balance. Are you ready for it? Right now, to the right, to the left, chassé, and balance left, and the right, chassé, Alaman left. Turn your partner right. This is a close turn. Pull around. Men, star left, 3/4. You're going to pick up your corner. Arm around. Stop promenade. Notice we're into a different part in the music. Doesn't make any difference. You'll just get home and I'll say back out and circle left. 1. We're right back on that beat part. Heads right or left 3. All circle now. Sides right or left 3. 4 ladies chain. And the heads promenade outside, halfway. They have to know what they're doing before the music. 4 ladies chain. Sides right or left 2. Are you ready to balance? Right now. Like yours, they're dancers, you know that? Alaman left. Turn your partner right. Pull around. Men star left. 3/4. Pick up the corner. Give a little hug. Who said cordials aren't fun? Tell you what we'll do. We'll flip it over now. Ready? Bow to your partner. Right there. Okay. We'll flip it over and give you the same dance to the other side, which is what? Okay. Could I just hear the beginning? You see what I mean? Okay? You'll know when to start. Okay. Same dance, different music. Get ready to circle. Go. Heads, right and left feet. Join hands in circle now. Sides, your turn, right and left feet. And what do the four ladies do? Change. And the heads, promenade. Four ladies, ready? Change. Sides, a right and left feet. Pick up the music just a little bit on this balance. Ready to balance? Right now. Alamein left. Turn your partner right, full around. Men, star left. 3/4. Pick up the corner now. Has a little different feeling to it, doesn't it, right? The music just does it. Ready? To circle half. Heads, right and left. All circle half. Sides, your turn, right and left. And the four ladies, what do you do? Heads, promenade. And four ladies change. Sides, with the right and left feet. You know what's coming, so get ready for it. Ready to balance. Alamein left. Turn your partner right. Full around. Men, star left. 3/4. Pick up the corner. Arm around. And ballet your partners all. Okay. That's the same dance, different things. All right. While they know the dance, okay, could you put on something else? I really don't care what it is. I got... Sure, anything. All right. Now, the reason I love to work with traditional is because you do find dancers, people that really feel the music. All right. If you do happen to work with a lot of round dancers, you want to get another couple?
We'll share.
Sure. Okay. Anybody else want another couple?
Yeah, there they go.
Okay. All right. Now this chassé, okay, the chassé is kind of moves out. Now, if you're in a crowded hall, you really can't do this type of thing. But you could be crashing into everybody. But so I've substituted a grapevine. Now, if you're working with round dancers, the grapevine, most everybody knows a grapevine. We don't change the balance. We do the balance right, we balance left. Okay, then instead of doing the chassé, which takes you way out of the square, we do a grapevine. A side, behind, side, touch directly to the right. And then we balance left, balance right, side, behind, side, touch. Okay, whatever you pick, just make sure it's not fast.
I've picked a record at random.
At random.
We have not set this up, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Could I at least hear the intro? That's not mine. Doesn't make any difference. Leave it on, sure. Okay, we'll use the grapevine. That's the only change we'll make. Okay, at least I do have an intro here, right? Join hands, circle half. And the heads to the right and left feet. Nice and easy across the ring. Join hands, circle half. Exactly halfway around the side to the right and left feet. Make sure you don't rush the call. Four ladies chain to go. And the heads promenade halfway. Four ladies chain, I say. Where did you dig up this record? Sides to right and left feet. Now we get to the balance part. Are you ready? Balance right and left. Grapevine with a 1, 2, 3. Now balance to the left and the right with the grapevine. Alamein left. Right hand turn full around. Then star left 3/4. Pick up the corner. Back out. Four ladies chain across. We're filling that little last part. And chain them back. Now pick up the song again. Join hands, circle half. And the heads right and left through. All circle round. Sides right and left through. Four ladies chain across. Heads promenade now. We gotta keep it quiet. Four ladies chain. Sides right and left through. Are you ready for the balance? Hit! Hit. Beautiful. Element left. Turn right. Pull around. Men star left. 3/4. Pick up the corner. Back on. Four ladies chain. And chain them back. And bow to your partners all. Okay. That's combining the two. Different feel. But nevertheless, the timing and everything was constant, right? Different feel. They're complaining we're making a little bit too much noise. But anyway, thank you, Square. I think they were a beautiful demonstration.
Real fine, Dick. One thing that Dick did that I don't know whether you picked up on, and that is that after he phrased his figure out and you were back home, he knew he had an extra 16. What am I going to do with it? Well, he put the lady's chain over and chain back, which absorbed the 16, then he's back on phrase again with the music. And that's something that you learn in experience of working with musics and working with basic figures. Very seldom do you go to a dance and just throw the record on there and go into it without thinking about it a little bit at first. And we surprised Dick, and of course he absorbed this, and this is, to me, an indicator of an exceptionally fine caller who can recognize that situation and can adapt and adjust to the situation without causing an inconvenience to the dancers. Did a good job, Dick. Real fine. Jerry, you have something you...
Oh, do I have
I shouldn't have asked that. Yeah. With the help of Stu and of Dick, could we demonstrate some forms of music? We talked about this earlier. Under that heading of music, in that framework, we have old-time string music, which is very common in traditional form of dancing and music, live and recorded. And we also talked about wind instruments being used in traditional music. And also ethnic music, where you have all sorts of things. You have wind and percussion, the whole business in there. That we had a recording here, and it's a French-Canadian recording. That'll turn on Dick here. He'll go right into a spasm with that. This particular form is a fiddle tune, strictly French-Canadian fiddle, and string instruments, all acoustical instruments. So here it is. You know the name of this tune, by the way? Okay. Walker Street Reel. Walker Street Reel. Okay. Very danceable, very nice, yeah. This happens to be a 2/4 piece of music. How about a 6/8 on there? Isn't there a 6/8 about 3 tracks in? Yeah, there's a 6/8. In Dick's demonstration, the first tune on that was Galicia Sherbrooke, which is a 2/4 tune, followed by Wright's Quickstep, which is a 6/8 tune. And Hugh, let's see, you had a... There was another German quadrille, which had the tail end of that, which had a wind instrument on it.
What record is that, Jerry?
Okay, that is a Maritime Dance Party, and it's on a Alcazar dance series. And what's the number on that?
FR201.
FR201. Okay, that's a nice recording. You can get that through several of the folk dance outlets, I think. Okay, the second form we have, Stu, if you'll pick up on the tail end of that, I think there's a wind instrument on that, or recorder. A lot of the traditional music has some brass, woodwinds, and this, I think, has a recorder. The recorder will start here. A little later on, I think. Better play on through. It'll... There. Okay. Looking at the forms of steps that we might run into in traditional dancing, let's do a two-step, of course. Would you do you have some music that we could demonstrate two steps with, and possibly a little clogging, whatever? Stu is from that area of Kentucky where clogging is pretty predominant down there. It kind of got its start in that area. Also, the heart of bluegrass. Is that right, Stu, if I say that?
Yes.
Right.
I don't have a vocal record.
Okay, just put on any kind of a fiddle tune, whatever.
You got a clogger from the recorder?
Got a what on the recorder?
Clogger.
A clogger.
Making the tape.
Really? He's a clogger? Is this a traditional tune?
Yeah, ragtime any.
Okay, good. Okay, Stu, would you give us a demonstration of a two-step? Just a two-step. Okay, you could two-step to that music, can't you? Sure. Some of the early traditional dancing was a two-step form, some with a limp in it. Through Texas, there were probably 5 variations of two-stepping. The Sweetwater limp, all sorts of things happened. Different forms, variations on that two-step. Limp step? I really don't know it, really. Other than just it was a two-step with a limp on it. Two-step with a limp on it. Do we have anybody that knows the Sweetwater limp? Lift, but I've heard it called a limp and a lift. Yeah. Okay. You got it? Okay, come up and demonstrate for us. There it is. Okay, that's the lift. And there was one called the limp.
We call that a samba.
Dick, over there. I can't see.
Yeah, come over here so we can see you. Right. Okay, there it is. Yeah. Okay, here's a variation. Robert Osgood's coming up.
In Brazil, what Dick just
Yeah,
did would
that's
have
a
been a
samba.
samba.
Yeah, it's a little samba.
I may not be able to.
You may need music.
I remember seeing the two-step like that, and then watching 1, 2, 3. There'd be no bounce. It'd glide forward like that. It looked great, but we figured that it was done that way because the music tempo had gradually gone down to 120, 118. So they were making more, and that lift was just sort of gradual. The shoulders still kept about the same bit, but it was a real flowing.
You're talking L-I-F-T now.
L-I-F-T.
Lift.
I think there was an injury concerned with the...
Can you say that on the mic?
Okay. Say that on the mic.
Mike.
Good morning. Lift. Lift. Okay. Now, we have a young gentleman over here, I understand, who's a clogger. And could we have just a quick demonstration of clogging? Would you come up and... Sure, it's okay.
Oh, you don't mean me.
Well, somebody said that he was the... Didn't you say that, Art?
Is that Frank?
Art doesn't have a... No, he knows nothing about clogging. And he said... Do we have a clogger in here? Somebody that could give... Okay, could you... Okay, just come up and give us a quick demo of what... No, old has nothing to do with it. He's got to work out first. Warm up. Okay, there's your clogging. Good, a nice hand for that man. Okay. Do you have anything in the Scottish vein? Bill Johnson, would you come up and give us a skip? And you could probably give us 3 or 4 variations of Scottish traditional steps. Would you do that for us? He's going to take his shoes off. Is the air conditioning on in here?
Let me say the only reason for that is that Scottish dancing can't be done with heavy shoes.
Say this on the mic so it gets on that.
Scottish dancing is clumsy on shoes, and we usually wear ballet shoes for Scottish dancing.
His feet smell like the haggis. Thanks a lot. Define that for us. Define that step.
It's a skip step.
It's a skip step.
Change step.
Okay. Pas de bas.
And the coupe.
Coupe. Okay. Plie? No. Merci. Okay. There's a couple more steps you can demo for. Don't put those on yet. Give us a couple more demos.
You got Straspe.
Straspe.
Please Straspe.
Got a Straspe?
I'm not sure where it is. Let me know where it is.
There we go. Beautiful. Good. Okay. Nice demo on that. Good.
I might as well show too.
Yes.
Setting step.
Okay. Same music. Very good. Okay, we've covered skipping and their hopping steps. Bob Howe, would you come forward and demonstrate a hopping step for us?
Don't take your shoes off.
No, don't take your shoes off, please. No. No shoes off.
I came to deliver a telegram.
Did you? If you want to get a tip, you better demonstrate. Okay, if you want to, yes, or bunny hop, or whatever. Yeah, please come out to our stage.
Oh, I love some Scottish. You want to take your shoes off?
Doesn't have any socks on. Okay, there's a hop step. Yeah, that's a hop step. How about a marching step for us? Would you give us a march? There's a march. How about polka? No, it's a little different. Right. How about a running step? Okay, there's a running with a hop, which is back into the kind of in the schottish thing again. How about a gliding step, like square dancers do? Okay. Walking step. Silver dollar. How about a hand for Mr. Bob Howe? Okay. We excluded waltzing here. That's part of our traditional form of movement in music. And I don't think there's any really reason in demonstrating that. We're all familiar with waltz and what it looks like. And here again, waltz is used back into those square figures, into line figures, into freestyle, and all those things are covered in waltz. Stu, it's yours. Looking for a waltz? Should we do a waltz? Okay, do you have one? That's a Scottish record. It's got to have a waltz on it. Nope. No. Okay. Omit the waltz. Somebody asked about the 5'2" record. That's a Chaparral, is it not? Yes. 5'2" is Chaparral. Yes.
Anybody want to hear the waltz?
Let's put it. Why don't we put it on? We'll have that for the record here. That's not a waltz. There we go. Very traditional style of waltz, played in a very traditional style. Yeah. Yes. Give us a demo. Two-step waltz, wasn't it? Oh, okay, very good. Okay, thank you. Back to Stu. Thank you, Jerry, and all those who participated in demonstrating. A lot of times, like Dick mentioned before we really got underway, is that demonstration is worth 1,000 words. And we hope that by demonstrating some of the steps up here that are traditional in nature, that you will of course, have a little better knowledge of the traditional steps that when you see them or hear about them. Bob, you had your hand up? Yes. Go to the mic, please, and
You did, this is Bob Osgood, California. In Anaheim, you had a group that did the running set. It always kind of amazed me because I didn't grow up in the area that you are accustomed to dancing in, how people could keep going so long with a running set. Now, your steps that you used in that, do they vary at all?
Yes, 148 to about 150, something like that. They keep the same tempo, Bob, and I don't know whether they just have greater endurance or what, but or they build it up over a period of time. But normally the running set isn't necessarily done from a square formation, as I did in the 76 exhibition group, in that they would just maybe have 6 or 8 couples get in a circle. And then each couple would do a visiting type of thing around the circle. And then the next couple would do a different visiting type of thing around the circle. And then you just keep on going till everybody had their turn around the circle. It might take 30 minutes to do the tip. And afterwards, everybody would collapse for a while before they get up to do the next tip, of course. But in mine, I just used the 4 figures so that each couple could do it and we wouldn't have to go more than 10 minutes or so on the floor.
Thank you.
But yes, it's a little running step, and normally the running step is done in short, choppy type steps, and the ladies, of course, wore the long skirts that came down, almost touched the ground.
And of course they didn't have the dance halls. Much of the dancing in the traditional type dancing was done on the ground. And when you would watch these people dance, you would see them, the ladies gliding across the ground like there wasn't any feet, like they were just moving, like little dolls or something. But it gave the appearance of no bouncy type thing. There was no bouncing to it. It was just a slight running step that gave a very smooth, flowing type motion in the Kentucky running set. Question, please, on the mic. State your name, where you from?
Paul Brody, Fair Lawn, New Jersey. I'd be interested in hearing how you adapt this, especially like with the square that we were doing up there before, into a one-night stand program or club dancing program. And the main thing I'm concerned about is that I can see where, like the dancers that were up there were fairly good and fairly knew their timing reasonably well, I would say. You get to one-night stands, they're drinking a little beer and they don't care so much about the timing and about being really on the beat and all that. How much success do you have in getting them to go half around in, 8 steps and then cross in 8 and so forth, and the 16s and all that kind of stuff? And same with club dancers too. I mean, some of the club dancers don't dance on the beat either. So how is this adapted, I guess, at one-night stands and club dancing?
Okay, Jerry Helt will give you an answer.
Okay, I think at a one-night stand I would be reluctant to use something like that. They're not really interested in halfway around, and they're not really interested in phrase, and they're not really interested in all those things. This would be good for, let's say, a beginner's class. Do you use some traditional things in a beginner's class? I think this is the ideal spot to introduce people to traditional dancing and say, here are roots of square dancing. Here is where it started. Here's why we lead to the right and circle to a line, or lead to the right and chase the rabbit, or whatever. So people learn that and accept that in a beginner's class. And if you present that to a club after people have gone through a class, they'll accept getting up to a contra line. They'll accept getting into a quadrille and never question it. It's a pretty hard sell to go into a hardcore square dance group and get them up and say, now we're going to do a traditional dance. You may get laughed at a little bit. So it's a soft sell. Yeah, right. But for a one-night stand, there's a lot of traditional things you can do in a one-night stand, but what you did would not be the best one. Yes.
No, I agree wholeheartedly with Jerry. You wouldn't use that just at a fun one-night type of thing to introduce people, especially if there's any beer. No. But I have used it, and my approach is, Jerry, is to say, here's something I just found out. This is brand new.
This is to a club.
Yeah, this is to a club. I'm going to use it with a club. I'll say, here's something brand new. I think you'll enjoy it, because I really enjoyed dancing it the other night. It may be a little white lie, but when they do it and they're happy with it, if you do a good job of teaching it and so forth, that's the place to use something. You may have to try a little harder. Boy, you challenge people for that. And you say, you may have to try a little harder because this has to be right. And they do it, and then you've got them. You've got them on the music. But a lot depends on what you do prior. In other words, you got to watch your calling. If you set a tone for your program and you call on phrase all night so that the dancers feel that music, then you do something like this and it becomes the highlight of the dance. If you use a lot of patter that doesn't time out, the split phrasing, and I think Jerry's going to talk about that in a little bit. If you use a lot of split phrase things and a lot of chatter patter and clip time at all, and then you throw on something that's precision, it's not going to go over.
One thing that I have found in stimulating interest in people in the idea of traditional is the availability of musics. When you get your record list of the latest recordings, you don't find traditional dance music listed there. And if you want something that will give you a good traditional flavor, you have to look elsewhere for your musics. And that's one thing that the traditional committee would like to do with the help of the members who would like to participate in that action, is to try to compile a listing of those musics that are usable for traditional type dancing. I I have a record here, then, and I want to just give you an example of a few of the bands. That is a fantastic record for quadrilles, if any of you are interested in doing quadrilles. It's called the Fireside String Band. It's square dance tunes from a Yankee caller. And there's a book that also goes along with this that has the write-ups on many of these things and use many of the musics with them. And you might be interested in getting that. If anybody's interested in it, come up and see me, and I'll be glad to, let you write down all the information. But I want to show you some of these quadrille musics that are on here that are extremely good for quadrille. I did a demonstration a year ago, 1 year ago today, at our spring festival there in Louisville. I had 4 double quadrille sets, and we did the basic 5-figure combination on a quadrille. And the first 3 were traditional figures, and I used some of this music for that. The 4th figure, I went into a pattern that involved all 4 double quadrille sets in a huge wagon wheel, where we had an outside rim and spokes working through the center, and then coming back into individual squares again. And a change of costume right in the middle of this, very subtle change before anybody knew what happened. We were from a basic black and white combination into a white and fluorescent color combination type of thing, and it was real impressive. And then, of course, the last figure I put into a modern square dance from a double quadrille, used the double relay the Ducey grand. But we did a double relay the Ducey on a double track with the crossover in the center going from one side to the other. It was... It's the Hussar quadrilles and the Patient quadrille figures. And he's selected just certain figures that he's put on there, and it's the music from those. I've been searching for those 2 records, and I just can't find those records available. I've written to every place I can think of, England, Canada, every place, and nobody seems to have them, and those who have them won't let you touch them. Yeah, I know you have. I tried to get a copy of them. And you told me that Bob Osgood had a tape that you had sent him, and I wrote Bob Osgood and asked him if he wasn't going to use the tape, could I get a copy of it, and I haven't heard from Bob yet.
I'm not going to let him.
But it's really great music, and on this particular record he has 4 of those bands off of the Patient quadrille and the Hussar quadrille, which are extremely useful if you're wanting to do some quadrille type things, especially in exhibitions. It works really well. So, all right, Jerry has another demonstration he'd like to do at this time. Is there any question that anyone might like to ask before we go into another demonstration? Art, you were up there a moment ago.
I would like to... Art Sealy, New Jersey. I would like to see either Dick or Jerry do a Venus and Mars.
Well, Jerry's got a cute little figure that puts you into 2 stars, 1 Jensen, 1. Why don't you do that? Well, no, Kathy's is much cuter than yours. But, yeah, suck in your belly, yeah. Last night, just out of clear, Jerry said, "Hey, here's a good figure you ought to try," and it ended up in 2 stars, one with the lady and one with the gents, and I think that might be appropriate to throw out. Okay.
Beautiful. Fine. Let's talk we're talking tradition, and we're talking about traditional things, and a lot of things that we do in dance and in moving to music are very traditional. For example, in everyone that dances, or in every human being, there's a little receiver somewhere that receives the music, and we respond to the music. They have found that animals respond to music. They've found that little babies respond to music. So we all have that little receiver in us, and we receive that music and we respond to it. Different people respond different ways. Some people have a very sensitive receiver, and they really respond to it. Some people, maybe their receiver doesn't work just right, or maybe they haven't developed that receiver so they can receive it. If we look back upon our childhood, what's the first thing that a child will do as far as rhyming, as far as saying anything? Or tell me, what? Let's hear from you. What does a baby or a young child will say? What's the first things? Mama, 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 mama. How about yan, 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 yan? You know what that is? That's a phrase. Mama is a phrase. Yan, 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 yan is a phrase. What's the first little song or rhyme? Can you remember what song that you learned for the very first time?
Sparkle, sparkle, little twink.
Sparkle, sparkle, little twink. Right. From Ohio, we do it differently. Okay. Twinkle, twinkle, little stars, a very common tune. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, what do we have? We have phrases of music. We're putting.
Frère Jacques. We come from different backgrounds.
I know. Oui, monsieur. Okay, let's do something. Let's do an experiment. Since this is a traditional group, could we get a square on the floor? Could we get 4 couples on the floor? Okay. Please come. Anybody. We're not concerned about your receiver at this point. Stu mentioned the fact that if we look at the first, how many basics, 20, 25 basics on our list, they're probably all very traditional basics, maybe going back 400, 200, 300, whatever. Can anybody give us a date on Grand Square? How old?
Playford.
How old? I know Playford, but 1651. Okay. So we're talking about a very old figure, of which is used today in modern square dancing. It's probably the most abused figure today in American square dancing. Abused by callers, abused by dancers. Let's do a little demo of Grand Square musically, and back up and take a vote and find out which was better, which felt good to you and which didn't feel so good. Okay, sides face your partner, heads face the center of the square, and let's have a little music, maestro. Grand Square. Reverse. Sides face Grand Square. Reverse. Sides face the partner. Grand Square. Reverse. Let's take a vote. Oh, you like 2? Very good. Okay, let's go to number 1. What was number 1 like? Tell me. It was what? Better? It was okay. She said it was okay. What was your feeling, Dick? It's great. Okay. Your feeling was all right.
Begin on the beginning phrase.
Begin on the beginning phrase. Okay, good. How about the second one? Terrible wrong.
Well, if you're out of time, you go back.
If you're out of time. Okay. We're about out of time. Thank God. How about the last one? Okay, let's analyze. Let's do another little demo. Sides face your partner. And let's pick it up. Now, the first one we danced, let's think of the song, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, How I Wonder What You Are, up above the world so high like a diamond in the sky. Okay, and I think we want to start where, let's see, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Okay, sides face grand square, ready, go. Up above the world so high like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Okay, that was the first one. We were out of melodic phrase. Okay, let's do the second one. Ready? Sides face your partner. Little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high. Okay, completely off. Right. There's no way. Everybody was fighting that. So our little receiver in here said, no, that's not the time to start that. We don't feel that. Okay? Let's pick up on the last one. Sides face your partner. Ready? And twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Perfect. Okay? So we were dancing a melodic phrase. We were dancing to that song. We felt that song. And you can go on and on for the next 100 years, and people will still respond to music. There's no way. I don't care if it's a challenge dancer. I don't care what kind of a dancer it is. You respond to that music. You feel good dancing to that music. We know of cases where callers will call a dance, people walk away and say, it was a very interesting dance, it was a very nice dance, his music was nice, but something was wrong. We don't know what it was. You probably danced an evening of dancing completely off melodic phrase. Now you can get about half off like we did in the middle of this and get by with it. And it'll be a little better. But can you imagine dancing a full evening of completely off like up above the world so high or whatever, that mess in the middle? And this happens. So this is something you can never take away from a dancer. And I don't think you can take this away from a caller. I think deep down in every caller, you have that receiver, you respond, and you do it in that form. That's tradition, and that's a tradition I don't think we'll ever lose. How about a nice hand for our group? On the mic. Here, get it right here.
Unfortunately, most of the people nowadays in clubs have to get around in a hurry so that they can get back and do that crazy turn about 4 times around. If they don't make that thing in about 4 fewer steps, they're not going to get there in time to do that little fun thing they did. So that's not nearly as much fun to most of us here, certainly, but that's what they like.
Yeah. Again, to add to what he's saying right here, I think this goes back to that beginner class. It goes back to that original teaching of teaching people to dance to music, to say, here is a phrase, and here's the way it's danced. And I think if people accept that and dance it like that, there's no question in their minds. So I think we are, maybe as teachers, we're a little guilty of not going through that and really giving it a thorough teach on it. Music and dance. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Any other questions or comment that anyone would like to put out at this time? Yes, please, Mike.
I could be wrong on this. I'm a relatively new caller. Could possibly be wrong on this, but it seems to me that a lot of the traditional music is in 8s or 16s, kind of even numbers. No?
Yes, all music.
Well, I know when you read some of the definitions of how much you should take to do a square through or something else, they don't always figure out to 8s and 16s. So what happens in the meantime? Grand square is nice. I mean, that was a good one.
Put pieces together to do that.
Well, I've seen people who wanted to show good timing and all that and get involved with some of the current figures were doing at the mainstream level and plus level, and I didn't feel that I was really dancing that well, and they were the experts. And Grand Square was fine. I mean, that works out nicely. But a lot of the other things they get involved in, and they were supposed to be the expert. I didn't really feel it was that.
Would you like to see a little bit of?
I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
We'll,
I like
we'll
to
use
see
the same music, okay?
Yeah, we've got the expert here.
Let's
on
get a
that.
square up. No, don't call me an expert, please.
You get a square up?
Some of the plus figures are the.
Well, the problem that you run into is there's different timings from different like box 1-4 to right. Yes. That's what I'm trying to
Give me a little tempo check first. Okay. All right, what we're going to try to do, because he's brought up the point, and in answer to you, all music is the same. The music, the timing is constant no matter what you're using for a record. And we're going to try to demonstrate very quickly, and I'll try to explain what we're doing as we're doing it, okay? It may not be easy. All right. This starts right off, so I'm going to start the heads right off on the promenade half, okay, heads? As soon as you hear the music, promenade half. Even if I started you late, I could do it. Promenade half. Sides, right and left through. As long as I got the sides right and left through there, it's okay. Square through 4. Okay? Do, so do, with the outside. Now, you're on number 1 now. You start an 8 chain 4. Here's your 1 beat right there. Swing 5. I'm going to promenade you right now. Promenade. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're coming into the last 16. All right? Have any strange feeling? Heads. Promenade outside halfway. Sides are right and left through. Same 4, square through. Now, square through takes 10 counts. So when you get to the outside, I'm going to say do, so do on 1 and 2, like I just did there. Okay? Do an 8 chain 4, but you're back on 1 now. Okay? And it still got the fiddle playing, right? Swing number 5. We're in the middle of a phrase here. Promenade right now. 1. We're coming up to the end of the song. And you should get home and your party is over right now. Boom. Okay. Same figure, different music.
Yeah, use an 18 through. 18 through, 21 steps. I mean, the question was asked a little bit ago. What do you do with the extra counts?
Swing.
The last 3 counts.
Swing. The swing is a great equalizer. That puts you back so you can swing once, swing twice. Make it 3. And you're searching to put them back on phrase again. Okay? Okay, same figure. No problem. No problem. No problem. It's music. Music is music. And what we're putting to it, we have to understand, takes so many steps to do. Even if you split phrase somewhere along the line, you're going to come back on phrase again. I'm going to be careful not to keep you off phrase all the way through there. It doesn't do any good to start you. If I keep you in the middle of a phrase, it doesn't feel good. But that felt pretty good, right? Here we go again. Same figure.
I might mention the fact that there's a timing sheet available through CALLERLAB, if you're all familiar with that.
Okay. I think I have an intro on this. Heads, promenade, outside. Halfway around. Sides, right and left through. Same 4, square through. Now there's your 1 right there, okay? Does it feel good? Do, sa, do. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, chain 4. 1. You're right back on phrasing. This is what makes dancing different. Swing 5. Here you go in between the phrase. Promenade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't have to watch you. I know you're home. Heads, promenade, halfway around the go. Sides are right or left through. If you want to dress it up or garbage it up, square through 4 hands. It's 4 hands in the middle of the ring with the outside period. They would dose it over. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Smile. 8, chain 4. You've got time to enjoy people you're dancing with. You swing on number 5. Promenade right now, you promenade, and whatever the words were to the song will be there. Okay? That's 2 styles. One more style. One more style. Try that Alpine hoedown. Okay? Same figure, 3 different styles of music. So what it proves to you, the timing is constant no matter what music you're using to it. Okay? Does that answer your question? See, you look at traditional music as being too much phrased. This is all phrased. Here's another one that's phrased. Style number 3. Let's do number 3.
I'm trying to think of what my problem is.
Okay. Now listen to this. Okay. Different style altogether, right? 4 ladies chain. Chain on the back. I don't know where I am. All circle half. Circle to the right, go the other way and back. All 8 go forward and up to the middle and back with your partner. Do-si-do. All right, now we're going to pick up that phrase again at the beginning. Heads, no, primitive heads. Halfway around. See, I'm just picking up the song, okay? Sides, right, left, do. Square through 4 hands. You're on number 1 right there. Did that feel good when you stepped out? Do-si-do. 1, isn't it? 8 chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Swing number 5. You're in the middle of a phrase here, but you're going to promenade on that phrase. Promenade. 1. Okay? So there's 3 different styles of music, but you're still home right now. Okay. Now you could dance grand square to that and still feel great, but you don't have to have traditional music. But the music is constant.
I'm not concerned about the music so much as some of the figures that you do, like 4 ladies chain and stars and promenade half. That works out real nicely. But get involved with the trade volume.
But you just did 2 different things in that figure that was split phrasing. Did you know which one they were? The square through and the 8 chain 4. You're both splitting a phrase, but depending on what you do after it, you run 2. Sure, that's the whole secret. Okay.
Somebody asked about a Venus and Mars.
Yeah. You got a good square here.
Okay. There are many ways to set up Venus and Mars, and this is one that I just stumbled on. And it has a couple things in it that are very interesting. For example, number 1 couple promenade inside. Face out. 2 fall in behind. 3 fall in behind. 4 bring up the rear. Thank you very much. Okay. Face your partner back away. Everybody bend the line. Gent star left, ladies star right, 2 little stars in the middle of the night. Number 3 man first. Pick up your partner, take her with you in a star promenade. Just keep it going. Take her with you. So you could do the Venus and Mars, whatever you want to do at that particular point. You want to square your set right there? Good. I might just mention the fact that, and this will blow a lot of the choreographers' minds, that you always say when you pass through, you and bend the line, you're out of sequence, right? That's the way the theory is. But the theory doesn't work like that. Number 1, just promenade to face out. 2 fall in behind. 3 fall in behind. 4 bring up the rear. Face the partner, back away. Pass through. Bend the line. By all theory, this is wrong, but it works. Gent star left, ladies star right. 2 little stars in the middle of the night. Number 3 man first. Pick up your partner, arm around. Take them with you. And I hope we're back in sequence. Strange. Okay? Why didn't that throw it off? There's a whole theory behind that, of which we won't get into. Thank you. Oh, okay. You want to do Venus? Do it. Somebody do it.
Do it.
You may have a good better. No, you got a better setup than I got.
I don't have a better setup than you got.
He's got a setup.
I've already worked too long.
Paul was asking a question, I think is a question that's on a lot of the callers' minds, in that the timing of the figures. And, you know, I don't believe that you can take the list that CALLERLAB gives you and says that, hey, this one takes 6 and that one takes 12 and this one takes 21, and up here compute 21 plus 6 times 8 times 3. Hey, ain't no way you're going to do it to music. It's something that you've got to learn to feel. And that's what Dick has experienced here for you today. He feels the music, and he knows that music. And he knows whether he's in part A or part B of that music. And if he's in part A, he knows he's got to finish part A, and then he's got another 16 to go in B before he starts part A again. So realizing and recognizing your musical phrases, knowing where you are in that musical phrase, then you can, up here real quick, I know a lady's chain over and back will give me 16. That'll bring them back to 0. If I do only one of them, that's going to put the ladies out. Then I'm, those types of things you compute up here. But that comes with experience and with knowing your music. That's the key, to really know your music. And if you know your music, regardless of what piece of music you can put on there, you can usually do this type of thing that we're talking about here. There are a number of ways to do Venus and Mars, and heavens knows I'm not an expert on any of them, but this is one way that I found that works pretty good. Let's have the ladies to the center and back to the bar. Gents to the center, make a right-hand star. Right-hand star, the other right hand. That's it, gang. Come back by the left-hand star. Pick up your partner, star promenade. Okay, the first lady lead out to the right and make a star, one like Venus and one like Mars. Rest, stay in your star, men. The girls follow the ladies and the men follow the men. Okay, and turn those stars. Now, when the number one couple meets again, cross over. Keep turning, cross over. The gent go to the lady star, lady go to the gent stars. That's it. One like Venus and one like Mars. Turn those two stars round about. Keep on going. Change the stars again. Gent star left and the lady star right. And number one gent, when you meet your partner, pick her up in the star promenade. Oh. Yeah. Okay, that's just one way of getting it. There's a number of other combinations that you can use to get into it, but I find that's relatively simple, easy, quick, into it and out of it. And be sure that when you're having the gents to pick up the ladies, you're picking them up with the right hand. If you don't, then they become a corner when you break out to make a circle, and you change partners real quick right there, which causes some confusion. So pick them up with the right hand. You got them in a promenade position. She's on the right side. She's your partner when you get home. Now, if you want to do a partner change, if you reverse the stars again, let the gent pick up with the left hand, join hands in a circle, immediately you got a new partner. You take the lady on the right in promenade, then 4 times through give you a partner change back to originals. But anybody else have a combination of how you can go into it or out of it that you'd like to show? Yeah. Oh yes. If somebody says, "Hey, would you do a demonstration for us?" Man, this is real effective. People like this Venus and Mars combination. There's a little book that Osgood put out a number of years ago on the intermediate, I believe, the long, tall, skinny book that you had. Is that still available, Bob? No, but I think that had Venus and Mars in it, if I'm not mistaken. It's the intermediate. You had the beginner, the intermediate, and the advanced, remember? Yeah, okay. We are running out of time. We only have about 5 minutes, and if there's anything that we could cap this off with. Okay, you have another combination? Okay, real fast. Dick's going to do his thing. You're free to go if you want.
May I just say to the group one thing? We have a conference session in the same room. I believe it's 2:30, is it? And you'd be surprised what a pickup from that is. It's the same family. We invite you all to come.
Right. And one other thing I might mention, we're not going to have time to do this because I've got to mention this too. Tomorrow there is another traditional committee meeting, and anyone who would be interested in participating on the traditional dance committee, please attend that meeting, because we want to come up with some recommendations, our goals that we want to establish for our traditional dance committee for the coming year, such as the possibility of